Yesterday was pretty frustrating evening because I realized that I have no clue how the game should look like in terms of like be in the true 2D or be 2.5D or be orthogonal or something else. So I honestly spent like the entire day doing research on that and trying to figure out like what I want to look and feel. And honestly, I think I found a good example. It's like indie game also done by one guy, and it looks solid. It looks pretty good, and the artwork is great. And I think Netis, but it has a pretty solid UI and graphic design, and I like how everything works there. So if you remember what I was thinking yesterday, that I wanted to build like buildings to be like standalone buildings. So I place the building and it's like the solid box without any actual purpose. So instead of that, I decided that it will be quite complicated to keep like, you know, the visual style proper, but also make it like flexible enough for people to, you know, be able to configure these buildings as they want. But Kenshi doing that, but I thought might be too complicated and too restrictive. And actually, I started thinking about what we can do better or easier, because you know we still in the prototype, we super early version, we don't have a solid concept yet, so we can experiment. And one of the experiments would be, what if we build, you know, a real like Minecraft style, tile-based style, you know, when you place like individual walls, they connect to each other, they snap to each other, then you fill the floor, bam, you got a building. So that sounds solid. Then you free to, you know, play with that, right? You're free to do what you want. You can like configure it differently. You can create your own purposes of the buildings, any size, any shapes. And funny enough, it's actually easier to maintain from the game development perspective rather than making, you know, one solid building, one solid like chunk here. And I decided to switch to that. And then I realized like none of my older tiles that I created work. Stone door, right? And then like stone wall. And that's what's generated by Pixel Lab AI tool. And I was like, oh, fuck, screw it. That looks bad. I mean, like, how can we scale this into, you know, proper wall? It's like the single pillar. And then, like, yeah, door is just awful. This wood is awful as well. I mean, in theory, it should be good enough to start working with these dummy assets, right? And then, like, work from there as soon as we have like all the logic in place. But if it felt like I cannot really work with stuff when it looks, and yeah, so I ended up basically thinking, okay, I probably can do it myself. And I was like, oh yeah, I should learn pixel art. And then I thought, oh my god, it's probably will be like really real hard, maybe boring as well. I'm not sure, but I'm not a designer, so I basically thought, okay, I'll draw boxes, like squares, you know, rectangles. I'll just draw rectangles. And I drew my first pillar, or like a single wall, as I call it. You could see here. And then I ask AI, like, all right, what actually configurations do you need from me? What should I make so you can like work with that? And it's like, yeah, sure. Look, do this. 15 different configurations. And I'm like, fine, fine. So I started doing that. I worked on that for the last 2 hours. It looked like just blocks, but it's been a lot of, you know, vector graphics for me, because Figma, that's all I know how to work with. And yeah, I didn't want to, you know, start learning a new tool plus to everything else, right? So I started here, single one, then I create one that like has joint on the left, then the one which has joint on the both sides, then the one on the right, etc. And yeah, see what we got here. This is our table. So basically now I should make sure that I have all connections here. So basically I'm like making the middle part, right? The junctions. And this one is single, and we call it, I think we call it 0. So for this like bitmask style approach, 0 pillar single, and single would be just for us to learn, or maybe we can like none. Yeah, we call it none, so it goes with neighbors, right? Then we call this one, this is west half, right? So let's start work on that one. I think doors should be in 2 configuration, right? The front facing door, stone door south, right? And stone door east, right? Something like that. So stone door south would be, I guess, something stupidly simple. What we need on a door? We need a handle. Door, done. Am I a designer now? Look at, I'm an artist. I'm not a designer. Who wants to be a designer? I'm an artist. Yeah. Okay. And the second one. That's the door. That's the door for you. All right, cool. Love it. Let's group it in one container. Call it periphery. No idea. But it should have a handle, I guess. So tomorrow, I promise, tomorrow I will learn how to work with a perspective. But today it will look ridiculous, I guess, but it will be a door. Oh, no, hold on, moving the wrong one. Yeah, that's where we got the white color. That's where, fuck. Okay. Tricky. Okay. Door, stone door. Again, the floor was selected. Weird. I should fix that soon. Door. I don't see really these doors. They aren't. It's not the best approach. Okay. Anyway, floor. Yeah, we can put floors underneath here now. Good. And we don't need it there. There are walls, right? We need it there. I think what I can do, the connection. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Okay, so let me ask it. I just noticed when I put a door in the wall, the walls consider that they have a neighbor, which in reality they should not consider a door as a neighbor, because door is like kind of independent instance, and the walls, they should use, how do I call it, they should be drawn as they have an end, no, the edge, and then the door would be inside this item to work on the enclosed room. Obviously having a door means the room is enclosed. And yeah, and by the way, please put some logs when we consider true and closed, and when we don't. So I want to see how this algorithm works by creating different rooms. Look at this, we get a house. There are multiple issues, obviously, but it's solid. It works. It works. Now we can build a huge. Where's my stone wall? We can build huge structure. like this, a pyramid. Put a dead king. Then this wall next to this wall, I'm actually clicking here, right? Which is weird because, again, that's wall, I mean, visually it looks like I'm clicking on the wall, while I'm actually clicking like the space underneath that wall. So maybe if, nah, the preview wouldn't help here, right? The preview wouldn't really help here. Okay, I'll do a little more research on that. I'll write a couple of no. But pretty good results for today. I'll probably will do more Googling today. I think we are going to stop the stream around here. Thanks for joining. It was really nice to have you guys here watching me playing with this little tool and creating a small world. So hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.